So yesterday I asked you to focus on the keywords, I mean newspaper reading, right? So when you read the newspaper, you may or may not have noticed the important key terms. Okay, why are they important? Because see, if you have tried to read this entire article, okay, there are a lot of things you probably don't even know where Taiwan is or what is the relation between China, Taiwan. It must be very confusing, irritating. But the summary is, in the long run, 1 year down the line, when you are writing mains, probably you will just use this entire article as one line. You will summarize the entire article in one line. But there are prelims and mains perspectives in this particular article and also keywords. Okay, so just for understanding sake, let's see. There is a term called as NATO. Okay, so yeah, we'll go with this particular term, Cold War. Okay, you need to know what is Cold War. Okay, if you don't know what is Cold War, it makes a confusing thing. Okay, and there is also a concept called as asymmetrical federalism. Okay, there is a term called as asymmetrical federalism. All of you know the basic English meaning of asymmetry, right? Asymmetry is differences. Asymmetry means difference between two things. Okay, so federalism means all states are one. Within a country, all states should be one. Okay, so what Taiwan is to China is more or less what Kashmir is to India. Okay, before the dilution of Article 370. That means there is a concept called as one China policy. Okay, one China policy. That means all the pieces like Taiwan, Hong Kong, everything, Tibet, everything belongs to China. Nobody can go there and say it doesn't belong to you. Okay, and the official stand of India is Taiwan belongs to China. Okay, but Taiwan can have its own flag, it can have its own freedom, it can follow its own democracy. So can Hong Kong. Okay, when the Britishers gave up Hong Kong to China, till 2040 or something, they had an agreement to let Hong Kong be at peace. Okay, only then it can totally be incorporated with China. But Hong Kong prefers democracy, China prefers a different ideology, right? So that is understanding that you need to develop in this particular article. And here, though this article is about Taiwan, it also have implications on India and the globe. Why? See, after Afghanistan, I mean, I don't know whether you're following news or not. Afghanistan was the focus of USA for last 20 years. USA went away from Afghanistan. Every time it restarts, I think it goes back to mute. I should change the settings. Okay. Coming back, what was the thing? Yeah. USSR versus USA, right? Now, presently, the world is unipolar. The term is unipolar. Why unipolar? Only USA is considered as a superpower. There is no alternative to USA. Every other country calls itself as a superpower, but in reality, you are not superpower. Why? You need money, you need weapons, you need strength. Okay, that is not true. So USSR is gone. That is the present day Russia. Okay, now who is the next competitor? China. So being a superpower, I don't want to allow the rise of China. Okay. Hotspot sorry. Yeah. Is it live now? So what America is saying is Taiwan is not your part. Taiwan is a separate entity, and that irritates China like anything. Okay. Now the problem is has a different. India already promised its one China policy. That means India has said, Taiwan belongs to you. Nobody can intervene. Why? People who live in glass houses cannot throw stones at others. If we say China, Taiwan is not yours, what will China say? Kashmir is support Pakistan and say Kashmir is not yours. So we cannot take that risk. Okay, and at the same time, provocating China unnecessarily is not a reasonable thing, right? Okay, so what America is actually doing is provoking China unnecessarily for its own gain. Okay, it's like Russia, okay, who provoked Ukraine? USA actually. Technically, it was USA who said, you don't worry, you go ahead, I will support you. Okay, who is suffering now? Ukraine citizens, right? So in the same way, if Taiwan takes an adventurous step, okay, it's the Taiwanese people who will suffer more. See, all these are unnecessary at the present day world, because the world have bigger problems like climate change, so on and so forth. Okay, apart from this, Taiwan is also a very good supplier of semiconductors, okay, or hardware material. So if you go to Mahindra showroom nowadays, there is a 18-month period waiting period or 24 months waiting period for a car. Why? Most of the cars nowadays have high-end chips, and the chips are being delayed because of lack of raw material supply from Taiwan. So it affects the entire global economy also. Okay, so that is the context which this particular article has been written. So every tiny dot that we have discussed yesterday will make more sense to you. So for example, if you understand what is Cold War, it makes this reading this article very easily, right? And for example, aircraft carriers. There is also one more article below this, right? Aircraft carrier. What is the importance of aircraft carrier, and how does it affect in the diplomacy or international relations? What other keywords are there in this particular article? Yes, please. What are the articles are there? Military drills.
Counter that, US has supported Taiwan by sending these carriers to Taiwan, so that at least somewhat they take step back to prevent further escalation of that actions of China. Indirectly, it has stated that.
Is it accelerating the crisis or reducing the crisis?
Accelerating only.
It is only accelerating the crisis.
They
Okay.
are saying that by sending these, we can reduce that China's power, but indirectly it is provocating China's to do things further.
Okay. So why should we be discussing this article from UPSC point of view? What do you take away?
What is India's stand on whether to support that USA point of view, whether to go for one China policy, or we should support the Taiwan's Democratic Party to establish their own sovereignty, or we should consider one China policy as it is depends upon their own countries.
Already we have promised one China policy. There is no negotiation on one policy. Okay, that is point number one. Second thing, we normally prefer not to intervene in other countries' internal matters. See, China, Taiwan is an internal matter. If China violates human rights, okay, what is the first argument you will hear? Haven't USA violated human rights in Iraq and other places? Even in Afghanistan, bombing, drones. Okay, so that means India is a country which practices what it preaches. Okay, every other country preaches but not practices. Okay, again, I'm not saying it as an Indian. I'm speaking from a purely real politic point of view. If you think about it, India practices human rights and also preaches it. Okay, USA has bombarded Iran, Iraq, so many places. Okay, but it does not follow whatever it says. So when USA is doing whatever it is doing, it is purely doing from its vested interest point of view, not from any strategic point of view. Okay, earlier it was trade war, now it is probably official war. Okay, so this small accelerating the crisis. Yes, again, climate change is something that everybody talks about, but nobody is willing to solve. Okay, yeah. In the same lines, say again, I don't want to bombard you with too much information from day one onwards. We will take it slowly, layer by layer, but understand the importance of article. They means once you learn a current affairs, it is there forever. Okay, then there is evolving topics. India have a one China policy towards Taiwan is evergreen current affairs. It doesn't change. It's like sun rises in the east. It's a fact. Okay, but what is happening between USA and China, or India and China, or India and USA? These are evolving. They are evergreen. They keeps on going. All you have to do is keep updating regularly, right? Okay, and you need to understand the nuances. Okay, so if you look at this article talks about maritime friendship between India and US. Did you try to read this article? No. Why?
It's today's newspaper.
I told explicitly yesterday's newspaper, right? Okay. Fine, no problem. We will discuss today's newspaper also. Right. So now, if you look at prima facie, this article has nothing new. Okay, or if you have read it, but there is something called as this small line. This one Lemova, right? Okay, I think it got stuck. Okay. Logistic Exchange Memorandum of Agreement, Lemova. Okay, there is a small concept called as Lemova. What is Lemova? Lemova is one thing where it is a agreement which empowers both the militaries, USA military or Indian military, to use their resources. For example, if I'm patrolling in Indian Ocean, my ship developed some issue or I needed fuels or something, there is an American base. I can use that American base to refuel my goods. Okay, it creates a larger sphere of influence. That also shows that India and USA relations are very strong. Okay, if you look at the Indian map, India is in the world map. India is in the heart of the Indian Ocean. Okay, India is the undisputed king of the entire Indian Ocean. Okay, king in the sense we have a very good sphere of influence. We have very good goodwill. We control that entire area. Okay, so what China wants to do is China wants to control that area also. America do not want that to happen. So that is why America is helping India a lot. So enemy's enemy is my friend. Very old logic, right? That is what is accelerating India and USA relations also. That is definitely the underlying pillar. Apart from mutual benefits like economy, market, and all those things. Then there is one more term called as quadrilateral. Okay, the term is quad. It is a very familiar term. You will hear about it. These are 4 countries: India, USA, Australia, Japan. These 4 countries come together and they are called as quadrilateral. That is a prelims question and also direct mains question. It has been asked multiple times in the mains. Okay, what is the significance or importance of quad? How is quad helping? Okay, so here what are the terms we can learn? We learned about unipolar. We have learned about bipolar. Bipolar means 2, right? Now it's bilateral. Lateral means between 2 countries. India and USA here are having bilateral relations. Okay, and quad is a multilateral. Simple terms, right? Once you understand them, they are there forever. As long as you're in UPSC, these terms will stay with you also. Unipolar, bipolar, bilateral, multilateral. Quad is a multilateral where multiple countries are coming together and talking with each other. Okay, polars is about power, superpower or not. Okay, lateral is about relation. India and Nepal can also have bilateral relations, but India and Nepal can never have a discussion about bipolar. Why? Nepal will never become a superpower unless Nepal is like Wakanda, which have a Wakanda. No. Okay. Okay. So unlike what Nepal is like Wakanda. Okay, which is a Marvel movie. Forget about it. Right. So next. There is also one more keyword, that is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Okay. What is NATO? You must have heard about NATO, right? NATO is a group of countries coming together to protect themselves. It's a military alliance. Okay. See, again, we will open Wikipedia, read about all these things. That is not needed. You don't have to waste time at present junction. Okay, what you need to focus is you understand that India and USA are coming closer together, and India is being helped by USA in maritime security, and USA is also taking help of India in maritime security. Apart from this article is not going to be having any relevance whatsoever on your UPSC preparation. I mean, in the long run, even if you don't read this article, you won't lose any mark at all, because these are some keywords which will be repeated thousands of times. Okay, so if I am you, I won't be spending too much time reading such kind of articles. I will read it for the sake of reading, but I won't be worried about notes making and all those things. But this article will make very easy sense to you once you are done with your IR classes. Okay, so it's like step by step. Now, but this article has nothing to do with any basics. This article is more about understanding what is happening in India, data opportunity, okay, and G20, right? So this article talks about what? G20 meeting. So first of all, what is data? What is the significance of data? Barack Obama have a wonderful quote, right? Data is the oil of the 21st century. Okay, data is the oil of 21st century. Barack Obama says this. So what oil is oil of 19th century or 20th century? Like 21st century is the oil is data. What happened because of the oil? Because of fossil fuels, some countries became very rich, like the Gulf countries have become uber rich. Okay, and based on the oil usage, developed countries like Europe and West or America have become super powerful, right? You have to burn oil, energy. Oil means energy, right? Without energy you cannot grow. Okay, so oil has played a huge role in the progress of the world. Okay, now he says oil has been replaced by data. Okay, that is the context. Next, what do you mean by data? What data? Indian government data, American data, what data? Hmm. 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 Anything, right? It can be about your WhatsApp messages, it can be about your Facebook, it can be about your Paytm transactions, it can be anything. Data is wealth. Okay, the moment you open your Google Maps, it knows red, yellow, blue, it shows, right? The road is heavy with the traffic, something. How does Google know that? Google is using your fellow travelers GPS location to update. Okay, everybody is clogged at this particular point. That means the traffic is high. Here the GPS is moving very fastly. That means traffic is free flow. Okay, so that is real-time usage of data. Or how does Facebook make money? WhatsApp is free. Facebook is free, right? Then by selling your data to the ad marketers. Okay, Google or Facebook are making money, and 98% of revenues of Google come from AdSense. Right, all the services of Google are free. Okay, and Google makes huge amount of money. How? Data is the oil. Okay, when the service is free, you are the product. Okay, that's the most important thing we need to understand. Not only that, it will also have a lot of ramifications like privacy. Okay, so in this article, what they are trying to talk about is the Indian government should have a holistic agenda for data collection and sharing. Here we will learn some important keywords which are evergreen. As I said, one is data localization. The other one is data free flow with trust. Okay, apart from that, first we'll go with step by step. What is data sovereignty? Sovereignty, all of you know, right? Sovereignty, you must have read it in preamble. India is a sovereign, secular, democratic republic. So that's sovereign. Sovereign means
They can make their own rules. No outside country has the right to rule that particular country.
Okay. Sovereign means I am a republic, right? I have full authority over this particular geographical boundary or something like that. So if I'm using Facebook by sitting in India, but the Facebook servers are in USA, what happens to my data? Who owns my data? Sorry? Who owns your data? Facebook owns my data. Where is the server? The server is outside India, but who is using that? Indians are using that data. I mean, Indians are generating that data. It's my photo, my account. I don't know what Facebook is doing with my photos. Okay, so this is an issue, right? And not only that, why should some other company or some other country's server have the details about Indian patients? Everything is digitalized, right? If you think about India, though we call ourselves as developing nation, as our as Bibek Debrai calls as RDC, LDC, least developing countries, India is RDC, refusing to develop country. Okay, so Bibek Debrai calls it as refusing to develop country. Perennially we call ourselves as developing nation, when either we are developing in true sense or we don't want to develop. Okay, from Aadhaar, bank accounts, PAN accounts, income tax, okay, health records in future, now Paytm transactions or UPI platform, everything is digitalized, right? Indians from birth to death are having a digital record. Digital footprint is very high now, right? If there is no data, then Indians will suffer. Okay, but if you have more data, but if you don't control the data, then somebody else will know a lot of. How do you create that healthy delicate balance? That is the crux of this entire article. Okay, now there are multiple layers to understand. If I'm going too fast for you, please let me know, or if I'm going slow also, let me know. Okay, now uh, there is a judgment called as Puttaswamy versus Union of India, a very important judgment, a landmark judgment in Indian history, that is called as Puttaswamy versus Union of India. That judgment is synonymous to privacy judgment. Okay, in that judgment it says privacy is a fundamental right to every citizen. Okay, now we need to go into polity class to come back to data localization class. Why? You need to have a basic idea of fundamental right? So how do I link fundamental right to this article? You need to have a deeper understanding. What are fundamental rights? All of you must have heard about it, UPSC aspirants, right? What are fundamental rights? As the name itself says, they are fundamental. They are basic rights. Okay, no, what is the crux? I mean, what is the base? What is the understanding of fundamental rights? They can't be changed by government.
They are universal.
They are universal. Okay.
So very essential for you. Existence.
They are basic. Okay. They are core. See, again, you haven't read Lakshmikant or NCRTs. I am not expecting technical expertise from you. I'm just trying to understand what is your basic understanding of fundamental rights. Fundamental, right? They are like the most essential thing. Without them, there is no right. Okay. Now, let's imagine X. X is an Indian citizen. Okay. X have fundamental rights, right? That's all. Now, I have added by saying privacy is your fundamental right. Okay. Now, X is watching a movie or something in his room, in his living room. No, that is purely his private affair, right? So somebody entered or somebody installed a CCTV camera and started observing what X is doing. It's a pure violation of his fundamental right. Yes or no? Now, can X go to court? Can X go to court? That is a core function of fundamental rights. Whenever fundamental rights are violated, you can directly go to High Court or Supreme Court. At the same time, if the government itself have violated your fundamental right, it is the government which has installed the CCTV camera. Okay, can I go to court? Can I go to the court? Okay, fine. Because government is Indian government, and judiciary is also independent in India. Everything is India. So all the three players are in India. X is in India, government is in India, judiciary is in India. Now it is the Facebook which is watching you. Where will you go? International court. Okay, but fundamental rights are from Indian Constitution, right? Where will you go? Even human rights. When people are dying directly by bombs, in Syria, Yemen, there is no violation. And do you think they will listen to you, sir? Facebook is violating my privacy. It should be the agreement between Facebook and the end user. Government should implement such policies. Okay. Data protection has to be there. Okay. Now, if my fundamental right is being violated, let's say not by Facebook, by some illegal activity, some third party, some hacker or someone like that. Okay. Now, whose responsibility is to protect my fundamental rights? Should I protect my own fundamental rights, or is it responsibility of someone else to protect my fundamental right?
Ours and also governments.
It's your responsibility to protect your data. I have given my Aadhaar number, right? So even I don't know where they are stored. Technically in Bengaluru, okay, fine. But who should protect my fundamental rights? So here that says again, my entire concept. If it is in India, we have legal recourse. Okay, if we are not in India, then there is some kind of problem. Okay, and second thing, fundamental rights, the basic understanding should be it is a limitation on state. The entire meaning of fundamental right is like a limitation on state. Fundamental right is not a right to citizen alone. It is a limitation on the state. State, there is certain things that state should do and state cannot do. Okay. Fundamental rights, or it cannot hurt you, or it cannot affect you. Okay. Now, after saying all these things, what is the vested interest of these companies to generate your data or to use your data? Why data is the oil? Why data is money? How do companies make money out of data? As I said, through advertisement or through profiling, etc. What is profiling? Profiling means they will exactly know what are your tastes and preferences. The most basic example is your Google now. The moment you slide your exactly right, it is literally targeting you. You shout like, let's say, Maruti car, Maruti car, Maruti car in front of Google 10 times. The next day you'll start saying Maruti car ads. As simple as that. Okay. So that is how they are making. Not only that, startups. Okay, startups take a lot of your data, profile you, and create products for your taste and uses. For example, imagine without Google Maps, do you think there are a lot of startups that can survive? Why is Swiggy so successful? Because it takes the API from Google Maps, right? I mean, the very usp of Swiggy is your ability to track where the driver is. Okay. In comparison to Zomato, Swiggy has a better interface. So all the small things matter. Uber and all these jobs. So we don't even know how much data has helped the companies. There is a company called as Zepto, 10 minutes grocery delivery. Okay. How did they identify the dark stores so that they can deliver the goods within 10 minutes? Yes. Everything. That means UPI platform. Okay. India is now moving to less cash economy. There are 6 billion UPI transactions last month. India is progressing a lot. Who owns that data? Do we track the consumer patterns? Which part of Indians are more using, is it South India, North India, East or West? How is that data being used? Okay. Can I use the same data for election engineering? Say, for example, if more social media users are there in Bihar, should I be targeting Facebook or Twitter? Okay, everything has a democratic applications. It's not like just having Facebook account, right? Facebook have changed the election results of USA. Cambridge Analytica issue. Okay, someone sitting in Russia, Ukraine area wrote blog post against Hillary Clinton, and that is very viral post in USA, and that has led to less votes for Hillary Clinton. So social media companies, the Rohingya issue we are seeing in the yesterday's newspaper, right? The massacre against Rohingyas was conducted by Myanmar military using Facebook. Okay, there has been a huge hate wave against the Rohingyas using Facebook as a platform. Okay, so that means don't just think Facebook is a tool. Social media is a unlimited power. It can collapse governments overnight, democratic elected governments. It can brainwash you. It can create a lot of implications. It can convert you into a market. Okay, we might be thinking we are reading a particular book because of our own interest. Maybe it was so targeted to you that you don't even know that you picked that book because some market had wanted you to pick it. If everybody is reading what everybody else is reading, then you are not thinking. Yes or no? So that means people are being manipulated at every level. The best case scenario is the rise of right wing throughout the world. Okay, that is again data. Extremism, fake news, misinformation. Okay, perception creations, right? Yes or no? TikTok. There are Indian states which have used TikTok, WhatsApp forwards, all these groups to create a huge amount of perception. So all that is data. But how do companies know whom to target, how to target? Again, everything. Yes, they even know how many times you logged in, how many times you unlocked your phone. Yes, see, AI is so powerful nowadays. All you have to do is, while you are scrolling through your Twitter feed, Facebook feed, or whatever, all you have to do is scroll slowly for 3 seconds. The 3 microseconds or 3 seconds delay in the scroll speed will tell that, okay, this person stopped at this particular news, probably he's more interested there. They can micro target you, and that is unbelievable, right? Yes, and not only that, profiling will also have issues like communalization, ghettoization. I can target certain group populations, certain religions, certain demographies. So data has huge amount of implications. Financially, I can cripple the nation. Yes, anything is possible. The implications are unbelievable, and we are moving towards health digitization. That means government is planning to have digital health cards. Everybody's health record will also be digitized. Okay, nowadays medicines are being purchased online. So now people will know which house is purchasing which kind of medicine and what is the probable diseases they have. Okay, and if you go by utopian movies like Person of Interest or something like that, they're based on your DNA. Okay, targeted weapons can be created against you. Yes, so all that is again next level, but it is possible thanks to technology, right? Artificial intelligence and machine learning can create huge amount of profiles. We probably won't even realize we manipulate. So having said all these things, it is a good thing to have a lot of data. Data driven policy making is also a important tool. What is data driven policy making? For example, COVID pandemic, Arogya Setu app. During COVID pandemic, everybody was asked to requested to install Arogya Setu app so that they will know where you have been, the internet would have been connected. So if I'm a district collector of a particular district, if everybody technically installed Arogya Setu app, I will know which part of Hyderabad have higher number of cases than which part. So then my lockdown restrictions or etc. will be more on the part which is having a more infection. So I will use the data to target the policy in a better way. Yes, I will know when Narega demand is higher, or in which part of the country inflation is very high. Right? It's not inflation all the time or all the country at one time, right? Some parts might have geographical limitations. Let's say monsoons, northeast will have higher inflation because of floods and all those things. Other parts might have less. So data helps the government also to frame policies in a better way, right? So data have advantages, data have disadvantages, but at the end of the day, it is my data. The entire concept is called as consent. Okay, consent should be there, right? If it is a public data, okay, nobody has a right to say. It's public space. You are in a mall, there is a CCTV camera recording you. It is not your data, it's a public data. But if it's your home, it's your data. If it's your browser, your laptop, your mobile, it's your data. Yes, the trust between the companies, the technology companies, the government and individual is all time low. There is no trust between any of the entities, right? Normally people who are very privacy oriented don't even suggest using WhatsApp, Facebook and all these things, right? It is suggested to use Signal, Threema or other apps, which much better encryption, or use browsers like Brave. But if your default browser is Google Chrome, then you are giving a lot of data to Google. But Android again is created by Google. The entire Android platform belongs to Google. Some apps have better privacy security, some apps do not have privacy securities. That is why even Apple nowadays promotes ads on the basis of privacy. If you have Apple product, your privacy is protected. If you don't have Apple, your data is not protected. I mean, indirectly it is criticizing Android. Okay, right? So you have to understand the nuances, how data has changed the world. Okay, either governments or anything. More data means more development. Now, who takes all the data? Especially the big four, right? Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook. Okay, all of them are US centric companies. Okay, so the data from all over the world is traveling to USA. It will connect. So, I mean, again, the concept is the data from all over the world is being transferred to USA, and they are analyzing the data, and using that data, the companies are generating technology, and they won't even allow other companies to grow, right? See, imagine an alternative to Google Maps. Do you think there is an alternative to Google Maps anytime soon? We have Google India Maps, or Map My India. There are something else, but technologically, the amount of money that Google has already made using all this data, and it will only accelerate its efficiency, right? So even Apple Maps are not even closer to Google Maps. So they have literally created something like a near monopoly. If they feel some Indian startup or somebody else is creating a technology which might replace us in the future, like 5-10 years down the line, all they will do is simply buy that company. So no, they will give billions of dollars, and every startup will be easily captured. Okay, so that is the power of money. Now, why this has to change, or how do countries uh, stop this entire spiral? What is the solutions that they can invest in?
Countries can have their companies in the country itself.
Mm-hmm. So what you are talking is about data localization. The entire concept is called as data localization. So what is data localization? It means moving the servers to India. Okay, moving the servers to that particular geographical boundary. Now the question is, if every country start doing the same thing, American companies, or America says that American users server should be only in America. Okay, China will say only in China. India will say only in India. If every country says our data has to stay only in our country, then there is no free flow of data. Don't you think it will kill startups? There are a lot of Indian startups which are surviving because of data from all over the world. Okay, it'll process the taxpayers' information of Americans. Then either you have to move all the Indian companies to America, which is utopian, right? Or we have to generate equivalent data. You get the point, right? Like, for example, Cognizant. There are a lot of companies which process a lot of other countries' data by Indian workers. So all those people will lose their jobs. But at the same time, if you allow data, there is a problem. Then, any idea what should be done? Is it possible for?
User to create restrictions on what data can be shared and what cannot be shared.
See, this is a very important topic for mains. That is why I'm discussing from so long. Data localization is a direct mains question. It is not even prelims perspective. Data localization is already being implemented in India only in financial sector through RBI. Kind of fatwa. Companies use our data, especially related to financial transactions within India. It is happening. Okay, and there was some bill called as data protection bill, which was recently withdrawn by the government in the parliament. Okay, that bill came as a recommendation of Justice B.N. Sri Krishna committee. Okay, very famous committee, Justice B.N. Sri Krishna committee, data protection bill. Now maybe you can sit a bit aside, right? If you are yesterday she had the same problem. No, the AC will be directly fine. So what was I saying? Justice B.N. Sri Krishna committee report, data protection bill. So data protection is there, and within the data protection, There is core data, non-core data, useful data. There are, okay, that means some things are useful, some things which are not useful. Okay, but the end argument is India prefers data location, but the world do not data localization. Data localization is not the solution. That is where the solution is Osaka track or something suggested by Japan. Japan suggests a solution called as data free flow with trust. Okay, the entire concept's name is free with trust. What does that mean? As she was saying, it's a trust between the end user, that is me, and the company. That means if Facebook promises me, I will exactly let you know where I am using your data. Okay, or where is your data being stored. So if as an aware user, if I have uploaded a photo, I will always know where that photo is stored right now. Yes. Why? Is Facebook using my for facial recognition? Yes? No. Facebook will then ask you, can I use your photos for facial recognition? Yes. Then am I making Facebook powerful? Very. Why? Why not? If I give the consent, automatically it will develop the algorithms, right? See, have you ever opened any new website or any new Google page? There will be a captcha. There will be a captcha, right? Identify the buses, identify the cars, identify the cats, dogs, fire hydrants, traffic lights. Did you ever wonder why? It is to keep the boats out, right? It says, are you a human? Are you a robot? But what is the sinister plot behind that? How is Google making money out of you? Google is developing an algorithm for self driverless cars. Okay, so if human being can identify the traffic lights within 3 seconds with error, 100% accuracy, then Google will give the same problem to an algorithm. If the algorithm succeeds, then the algorithm is as good as human being. So you are helping Google to create better algorithms. That is why almost all the captcha codes are about traffic or roads, buses, cars. Why not something else? Why can't you ask me to identify pink, blue, and black? Yes or no? But why traffic signals? So that Google is training its bots. A billion bots are trained every day to identify traffic hydrants, fire hydrants, or traffic signals, or buses. So every human who gets it correctly, most humans get it correctly, right? And that is compared to bots. So whose accuracy is increasing? Bot accuracy is increasing. One day there will be a bot which will identify as good as a human being. That will be a selfless, driverless car. Okay. So who then Google will sell it for billions of dollars. Free income, so free input, heavy profits. Yes or no? The same happens to your Facebook photos. Every photo you upload from every dimension or every angle, whether in public place, private place, and so on and so forth, Facebook will use its algorithm, identify this particular person. Okay, you are in a cricket stadium, somebody took a pic, 10 megapixel, you didn't even know, then it will be zoomed. The algorithm identify, yeah, this is this person. Yes or no? Okay, the more I can identify even in the crowd, I will then sell it to police departments. Yes, a riot has happened. What will happen? Use Facebook algorithm to identify every rioter. We cannot escape. We will create a big brother society. No? So all these things are already happening. Uttar Pradesh, Hyderabad. Hyderabad is one of the surveillance capital in the world. We have around 50,000 CCTV cameras. Only in Hyderabad, not India. Okay. Delhi, the more CCTV cameras, more tracing, more facial recognition, more tracking. China is in China, all you have to give algorithm your phone in 5 seconds, it will identify you. Okay. See, again, all this is data only. How did algorithms become so powerful? It became so powerful because of your data. You helped the companies become stronger, better. Every selfie you took and uploaded on Instagram, Facebook, you are helping the companies. You are also getting likes, right? Win-win scenario. Now the problem is there is a community called as Uyghur Muslims. Okay, they are minorities within China. They are being targeted and harassed using the same algorithms. So again, that is for some other class. Don't worry, I won't burden you to. Yeah, but understood, right? The world is not as simple as you see. Everything has a lot of issue, and our privacy is violated each and every day. Okay, the simplest example is, okay Google. Okay, your phone must be activated by now, right? How does it know? Simple. I will tell you a simple example, right? Okay Google. Okay, my phone will activate my assistant. It has activated. Okay, how does it know? Only when it listens to my entire class, it knows that I have also called okay Google. Think about it logically. When I say okay Google, my phone gets activated, right? That means 24/7 365 days my phone is listening to everything I am saying. It is processing, then it is waiting for okay Google, that word. Only when that keyword is said, it will be triggered. Same is with Siri, same is with Alexa. That means when you bring Alexa, Siri, or anything into your home, you are bringing the world's sophisticated surveillance device into your home. Yes or no? And it can listen to everything, and it is processing that data. Okay, and it is violating my privacy every single minute, and it is my government's responsibility to protect my data so that other companies won't misuse it. So that is the nightmare of this entire issue of data localization. Technology companies are decades ahead of the law. Always this happens, right? Technology companies are always a step ahead of the law. Today we haven't even brought in data localization. Google is already making better algorithms. So the moment you bring data localization, already companies must have moved on to some other way of identifying your data. Okay, so that is why we quickly need to bring in something called as data localization. Unfortunately, India is very behind in this particular aspect, whereas European Union and USA are much progressive or much advanced in data localization. But again, technology companies will always win. Why? We cannot not use technology. They cannot not make money. Yes. Can you live without Google Maps or Google or something else? We are so used to technology, right? If we don't check our mobile phones for 10 minutes a day, we feel like there is some issue. Yes. Okay, so I hope you got a macro picture of what is the entire concept of data localization and how Indian economy is deeply interlinked. Okay, any questions, any doubts?
What are the G20 countries trying to do?
Again, they're trying to bring or control these tech giants specifically. See, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, Apple, Microsoft, these are so big as a companies, they can literally make or break nations, right? So these governments don't want companies to be so powerful. See, I will tell you an example. You must have heard about Indian economy, right? GS paper 3, Indian economy. What is the size of Indian economy? In dollars, in dollar terms. The size of Indian economy is $2.5 trillion. You can subjectively argue 2.5 to $3 trillion. Okay, the valuation of Google or Apple is around $2 trillion. Okay, companies are $1 trillion. Google is more than $1 trillion. Okay, you understand, right? They are $1 trillion companies. If they are countries, they are the like 13th 14th the richest countries in the world. Okay, even for understanding sake, Russia's economy is $1.5 trillion. Apple is richer than Russia in technical terms. Okay, so powerful, and that is just a company of America. Okay, and they also have data. Money plus data, more dangerous. They can make or break you. So that is why countries are afraid of companies, right? And social engineering. There is a term called as social engineering. I can create affection or disaffection towards any particular group, or create communal hatred and all these things by social media companies. So social engineering is a very powerful tool, right? Do you want Facebook to decide who is your next prime minister? No, you want to elect? Okay. From the movies we watch to the books we read, the data we consume, everything is algorithmized. Okay, so you think you are doing something unique, but actually you are being manipulated. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, we'll move on to next topic to understand the nuances, right? Yeah. See, again, this is not how my normal DNA classes go. I'm going very slow or very in-depth in the first few days, because you need to understand how important newspaper is. Once you understand that, then I will ask you to read. It will only be 1 hour in the normal days. Okay. Did you read this article? No. Why? Have you at least seen this article yesterday? You thought important? Important. Any keywords? Arctic amplification. Okay. Even before that, there is even better terms. Yes, arctic amplification is one thing, but some things you need to understand. Either in prelims terms or main terms. There is a term called as Anthropocene. Anthropocene. Is it there in that article? It might be. What is Anthropocene? See, anthro means humans, right? Instead of saying that humans have created climate change, etc., etc., we use the term called as Anthropocene. Okay. Scene, Holocene, these are all climatic eras. Okay. There was ice age before human beings also. There is ice age now also. So climate eras are called as scene. Okay. Anthropocene. Scene means and human induced climate change is called as Anthropocene. Okay. Now, first of all, you need to understand the difference between global warming and climate change. These are a common terms that you hear, right? Global warming, global warming. The globe is getting warmer. What do you mean by globe is getting warmer? Okay. Increasing pollutants. See, whatever you are saying is consequence. Okay. So, in the scale of in post-industrial era, that means in 1850, if the average temperature of the globe, let's say, is 24 degrees. Okay, sir, Hyderabad is 40 degrees then also. Yes, average of the world is 24 degrees. Okay, in 1850. Okay, so in the last so many years, we have increased by 1.1 degrees. That means in 2022, the average global temperature has increased by how much degrees? 1.1 degrees. So for understanding sake, today it is 25.1, right? Okay, the average temperature of the world today is 25.1. Understanding sake. Okay, 1.1 degree rise is called as global warming. Okay, and we are projected to reach 2 degrees soon. Okay, so what is so big deal about it? Whatever the natural disasters you are seeing in 2022, whether it's polar ice caps melting, heat waves in Canada, fires in Australia, fires in Amazon, monsoons in India, or unwanted rains in India, everything is happening just because of 1.1 degrees rise only. And there is a report by IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It says 1.5 itself is Hollywood movie. Okay, you must have seen like 21st, tomorrow, there are so many Hollywood movies which shows the planet will be destroyed, core will be melting, ice age will come, so on and so forth. All those Hollywood movies are there, right? All those will happen by the time we reach 1.5 itself, and 2 is like I can't even know, I don't even know what will happen. Okay, but in reality we have something called as Paris Agreement. That means we are trying to cool the world. Okay, but going by present level of our consumptions throughout the planet, we can easily reach 3 to 4 degrees. Just whatever we are doing, like running the ACs, using the present fossil fuels, everything. Okay, if we just stay in the present course, the world will definitely reach 3 to 4 degrees. Okay, if 1.5 is a unbelievable scenario, 3 to 4 degrees is what? Okay, we don't even know, we can't even imagine. Okay, there is a, you can't even imagine, like British or in Britain or in Canada, people are dying because of heat waves. They have never seen 35 degrees in their lifetime. Okay, recently that happened. Australia have huge amount of forest fires. Amazon have huge amount of forest fires. Okay, sea level is rising. The beloved destination Goa will go under the sea soon. Okay, so you can understand, right? The entire coast of India will be under the ocean, and small islands like Maldives, Sri Lanka, or so many other islands will go under the ocean. Okay, what happened in Dwaraka, technically speaking, will happen to the entire coast of India. All these things will happen only to India, right? We are not talking about America, poor countries like Africa, etc. See, in Hyderabad, if you are a rich person, what will you do when the temperatures go high in summer? You get a new AC, or you increase the temperature of the AC. What is happening because of the ACs? You are accelerating the climate change, right? Heat is increasing, your AC consumption is increasing. Because of AC consumption, again heat is increasing. So it's like a positive spiral. Okay, so that is how we are destroying the planet. So this is the difference. This is what they call by climate change and global warming. Climate change is holistic. Global warming is just about temperatures. Okay, everything you hear in environment like Paris Agreement, Panchamrit principles, what this entire article, etc., is us trying to save this entire scenario from happening. We are already 1.1. We should not go to 1.5, but we will definitely go to 3. Yes. So buy electric vehicles, right? That will save the planet. No. Industrial pollution will be high. Okay. We have to move towards renewable energy, clean energy, wind, solar, etc. But again, this is all for understanding side. Nobody wants to change. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Yes, in the same logic, everybody wants to save planet, but nobody wants to do something about it. Having said that, there are some small concepts within, like geography. If you have read geography NCRTs, you must have noticed the term called as albedo. What is albedo? Where is albedo? What is albedo? Let's imagine this is ice. Okay, if the sun rays are falling on ice, what will happen? It will be reflected very quickly, right? If the surface is white, okay, sun ray will come, sun ray will go away. The heat absorption will be very less. Okay, but if ice is melted totally, it's only water, what will happen? The heat will come, it will stay, then it will be released as latent heat. Okay, that is a geography concept. So more ice means less global warming. Yes or no? Less ice means more global warming. So by human induced, that means Anthropocene, we have made sure that ice is melting. Because we have made sure that ice is melting, we are attracting more heat. When more heat is attracted, what happens automatically? More ice is melted. More ice melted, more heat. Because of more heat, again we will use more ACs, more etc. It's a negative spiral, right? That is what this article is trying to say. Okay, now you can argue very nicely, sir, it is happening in Arctic, it is happening in Antarctic. Okay, what will happen to us? We don't even know the consequences. See, the entire planet is a living creature, right? What happens in Peru will affect India. Okay, what happens in India will affect Peru. So that is El Nino, La Nina, these are all geographical concepts. So for a normal human being, he may not understand this. But if you are educated, you can understand if Indian Ocean gets warmer, okay, Peru will have some issues. If Peru or Peru coast gets warmer, that is South America. I'm talking about South America getting warmer, it will affect Indian monsoon. Okay, and there is also some kind of linkage between Arctic ice and Indian monsoon. So India survives on monsoon, right? 50% of Indian agriculture happens only through monsoon, rain fed. And that is why monsoons are called as a de facto finance minister of India. If monsoons are good, India is good. If monsoons are bad, India is bad. So if somebody else does something out there, if Russia and Ukraine are fighting, it may not affect India directly. But if the world is getting warmer, Indian monsoon might be affected. Yes. So why is Hyderabad receiving so many rains? Apart from the chief minister's smart comment on, not cloud burst, cloud seeding, okay, by the enemies. Why do you think Hyderabad has received so many rains? We don't know, right? Not only Hyderabad, the entire country is receiving excess rains. Okay, it may be because of global warming and climate change. Okay, flash floods are a common thing nowadays in Uttarakhand and other places. Okay, in Kerala also. How and why, we don't know the connection. Anything can lead to anything. Okay, and drought. Right now there is drought in African Mexico is right now going through drought. If you go just Google it, you can see cattle dying on the roads of Mexican cities by not having food and water. Okay, it is that bad, right? So all these things have to be taken into consideration. Right, so that is what this article is trying to say, that we need to be more responsible. Everybody has to come together to save the planet. It is not about any one country's problem. Climate change is a global problem. Okay, climate change cannot be stopped by building walls, right? If it is issue with Pakistan, I will construct a fence. Okay, India, Pakistan, we have a fence. Your problem is yours, my problem is mine. But climate change, no. Every country has to take a step to solve this problem. Are we solving the problems? No. You must be woke janta, right? You are all very active on social media, YouTube. You must be aware of climate change. So what should we do to stop climate change? General knowledge, not UPSC knowledge.
Individual responsibility.
Like
One should become aware of
Hmm.
using resources.
Hmm.
Like little steps matters, right? Right from switching off fans and lights when you go out.
Okay.
Planting a tree per year.
Planting a tree per year.
Sapling.
Oh, sapling also fine. Will planting a sapling a year solve the global problem?
No, but if everybody does that, it brings a difference. Not just single person.
Okay.
Creating awareness among
So before UPSC, like you are still in college, right? Are you aware of climate change and all these things?
Yes.
No. Do that discuss? Do those kind of discussions happen in the canteen? Yes, climate change. We have to do something about it. No,
Yes.
it happens. Then what do? Create a placard, rallies, shirts,
Mostly we will start
social media. Nice. People should change. Then start awareness. That's it. At individual level, what do you do? Public transportation. Okay. Electric vehicles. Plant distribution. Okay. Afforestation. Recycling. Again, it's about you, right? Yeah. I know that there are multiple levels. I asked, what do you do? At individual level, what will you do to save the planet?
Public transport by using.
Then we can't do individually.
We we start doing individual work, we can do about ourselves.
Hmm.
Can't reach, maybe can't reach outside.
Mm-hmm.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. So Mother Teresa have a wonderful quote. If everybody cleans their house, okay, the entire city will be clean. Okay. So again, every small drop counts. Okay. So as an individual, if you have the aptitude towards environment, tomorrow if you become a district collector, you will carry the same attitude, right? Then the teamwork will have 10 times more impact. But if you are yourself personally not aware of climate change, okay, even after becoming an officer, you may not be so sensitive towards the problem of the planet. But again, as you said, everybody, every level, individual, society, nation, states, international organizations, civil society organizations, everybody should play their role. Unfortunately, they are not doing enough. Okay. Hmm. So there is a concept called as a tipping point. Tipping point. Tipping point means in climate change, it's like a line which should not be crossed. Once you cross that line, once the temperature goes to 1.5 degrees, all the efforts in the world also cannot bring it below that. It's gone forever. Okay. So we are in that very sensitive zone in the planet right now. So we should not cross those tipping line. The moment we cross that tipping line, it's gone. Okay. So that is why UN secretary recently said a wonderful line: there is no plan B as there is no planet B. Okay. So we have only one planet and we need to do everything to save it. But 99% of the population are not even aware of the seriousness of the climate change. They talk about nuclear weapons, health, so on and so forth. Okay. But actually everything can be attributed to climate change. Okay. Humans are the worst disease of the planet. Okay. Even if you take the recent corona pandemic and all these things, that is a concept called as zoonotic diseases. Zoonotic diseases, that means diseases caused by animals. Okay. The diseases transferred by animals to humans. Okay. The more we destroy the nature, the more we come in contact with animals, the more new diseases will be identified. That is the threat she also identifies, right? Permafrost. Okay. There is a concept called as permafrost. Permafrost means it is ice on soil. Okay. Like it's frozen land, frozen soil in Russia, Siberia, and all these places. It's like a dry land which is frozen because of ice. Okay. And it is frozen because of the climate change back then, ice age. Okay. Now the ice is melting, the top ice is melting, so the underlying soil is getting warmer. Okay. We don't know what kind of new viruses or bacteria, not new, old viruses and old bacteria that are hidden under the soil, which might be released. Let's imagine a virus as powerful as COVID, which was buried under the soil for thousands of years. Now, because of the melting of the ice, if it is released, are we ready to tackle that? Okay, all these things are actually happening. If you see the news reports in Russia, permafrost is a very serious issue. Not only this, there is a concept called as carbon capture. Soil captures a lot of carbon, and the carbon was buried by ice. Okay, now ice is gone. What happens? The carbon is released. Why is ice melting? Because of more carbon. What are we releasing? More carbon again. It's like double whammy. Okay. Yes. So I don't think this planet has future beyond 2050. Okay. That is my personal opinion again. So yeah, sorry.
So we are working towards it.
So Kali Yuga Antam. That is what we call. So my prediction is 2040, but humans are trying very hard to prove me wrong. No. And actually, because of COVID, plastic pollution has increased, right? It has not come down. It has only increased. Yes. So in every possible scenario, humans are making sure that planet is getting destroyed. No. Space, we have derbies, nuclear weapons, plastic pollution, sea level rising, permafrost thawing. Okay. What else is left? Fossil fuels, coal, coal usage will be all-time high. And thanks to smart people like Putin, Russia-Ukraine war is happening. Till then, European countries were actually moving towards decarbonization. That means European countries like Germany and all this were smartly they closed all the nuclear reactors, coal-fired plants. They were moving towards renewable energy, 100% energy from solar and wind. Thanks to Russia-Ukraine war, now they are again going back to coal and nuclear. Okay, so as a race, we are the same people who are sending people to Mars. We are that smart, and at the same time, we fail to understand we only have one planet. Okay, so this is all for UPSC answer writing. Don't worry about it. Okay, as an individual, when you become somebody, probably you can make change. Till then, you can only smash your head to the wall. Like, why don't people understand? Because people don't. We cannot change people, right? We cannot change our own family members. And it is not an easy thing, right? If I go to buy a car now, electric car costs more than a fossil fuel car. And smart policies like EV policy in Delhi, they are trying to reduce the cost of the electric vehicle cars, but still the technology is only evolving. At least government is trying, but the long-term consequences will be lithium e-waste. Okay, so again, that is for another discussion. So I hope you understood this article in macro context, right? Like what is global warming, what is happening to the planet, and polar bears are losing their home. Okay, that is also a severe problem. The same topic, I will tell you in international relations between India and IR one day. You will be like, oh, Arctic melting is a good thing for India. Why? India and Russia can have direct sea links. Oil exploration can happen. We will have more sea lanes. So Arctic melting is a good thing for India in IR, right? But IR, remember, okay. What happens when Arctic melts? New oil exploration will happen. Russia will explore more oil in Arctic. No shame at all. Yes. Yes, yesterday we have just briefly started the discussion, right? Freebies are a good thing or a bad thing. Now, first of all, there is no definition for the term freebie. Okay, it is an open-ended term. Freebie, free, whatever you get freely is freebie. Okay. Now, what is the advantage or disadvantage of freebie? To reduce the inequality in the society. Okay.
Places burden on the next coming government.
Okay. It puts what on the next government?
The particular next government withdraws that particular schemes that the people who will elect the government for the next time.
All of you must have heard about this particular topic, right? Separation of powers. Yes. Normally, when you read polity and CRTs or basic stuff, you'll hear this particular term, separation of powers. There are three pillars of democracy. Right? All of you know the meaning of democracy. The most famous quote by Abraham Lincoln, right? Democracy is by the people, for the people, of the people, by, for, and of the people. That means we have created our own ruling tool. So this is like a software to the hardware. If geography is hardware, software is democracy. It's a software, right? Russia uses a different software. India uses a different software. Capitalism, communalism. India uses democracy, where people come together and create their power structures. But the software runs on three rules. The three rules are legislature, executive, and judiciary. Executive, okay, legislature. And normally the fourth pillar of democracy is media. Okay, media is called as fourth pillar of democracy. Okay, so these four people actually contribute a lot to the democracy. Now, legislature. What is the purpose of legislature? Law making. Okay, what is the purpose of executive? Execute. All of you understand execute, right? Like to implement. Okay, to implement. What is the function of judiciary? To make sure 1 and 2 are as per the Constitution of India. If they are according to Constitution, it is correct. If it is not according to the Constitution, it is wrong. But some part is correct, some part is wrong. Then whatever is correct, it is valid. What is not correct is invalid. Okay. So judiciary is like the judge, right? It will decide, but decide on the basis of what? Whether is Constitution being followed in this particular case, yes or no. Okay. Everybody should do their own job. Okay, this concept is called as separation of powers, though it's not watertight. That means there will be some kind of spillover effects, but normally law should be made by whom? Legislature. Who should implement? Executive. Who should judge? Judiciary. But sometimes what happens in India is judiciary makes laws. Okay, this is called as judicial overreach. Judicial overreach. Why overreach? You are crossing your limits. When you cross your limits, that is overreach. Yes or no? This entire discussion is about freebies. Okay. Now, this process is also called as checks and balances. Not the money check. Check, CHECKS. Checks and balance. I'm checking you and I am balancing you. Balancing means if legislature or executive is doing a bit more, then who is controlling them? Judiciary is controlling legislature and executive. See, not to confuse, legislature means normally speaking parliament. Parliament or assembly, MLAs, MPs, all these people come together, right? Shout and beat each other. That places you see in the TV, no, yes, that is legislature. Okay, they are actually supposed to pass bills. Long ago they used to do that. Okay, but nowadays they forgot that. Okay, fine. So, but normally speaking, legislature is the place where they make laws. They discuss. Okay, who gave them the power to discuss that? Constitution. See, Constitution always starts with we the people. We the people, that is the first line of Indian Constitution, right? We the people of India framed this Constitution. That means all the 1.4 billion population of India gave power to Constitution, and the Constitution gives power to people again to vote, and they have voted to discuss. That is the story. I, the citizen of India, have given power to Constitution. Constitution give powers to people again to vote, right? Once voted, you become MLA or MP. So if you're in parliament level in Delhi, that means you're a member of parliament. If you're an MLA, that means again who elected you? People elected you. You will be an MLA of Telangana state or Andhra Pradesh state or Karnataka state. Okay. So the entire mechanism is who is having the actual power? People. People are transferring their power to MLAs or MPs. So if an MLA is functioning well, next year the election will come. I mean, 5 years down the line. I mean, next time means next time, 5 years down the line, elections will come. If I vote him again, that is a reward saying you have worked well. If you haven't worked well, what will I do? I will vote for somebody else. So that means MLAs and MPs accountability lies with people through election. Okay, the judgment of an MLA or MP is through success or failure of elections. Okay, I hope you understand. So elections will decide yes or no. Okay, to win elections, I can promise something. Yes or no? To win an election, I can promise. If you vote me to power, I will give you laptop. I will give you TV. I will give you electricity. I will waive your loan. Okay, or I will create employment for you. Sorry. Huh. NTR has brought in this landmark thing, right? 2 rupees rice, Anna canteen, Amma canteen. All these things are there, right? They promise all these things in election manifesto. And if people feel, I will vote for this person, I will get all these things, then it is up to the people and the government. Okay, this entire drama is happening within the purview of what? Constitution only, right? It is purely legal. People have the right to vote for whatever, whichever party they want, and the parties have the right to give whatever promises they want to. It's an agreement between whom? People and parties, people and politicians, right? It's both of them. Okay, if a politician is saying, you know, I will take money from you and I will again give to you. I'm taking money from your left pocket and I'm putting it in the right pocket. Okay, you're happy with that. Then what is my problem? I should not have any problem, right? How see, you means you are paying tax. Okay, you the citizen, you here means the entire 1.4 billion population. You are paying direct tax, indirect tax, or whatever. Okay, your tax money is again being given to you. Government cannot create new money, right? Okay, it is just rotating your money to you. You elect me, I will give your money to you in a different name. And people are happy to do that circle, right? For example, there is a concept called as Raitu Bandhu in Telangana. Okay, the government will give you 6 or 7,000 rupees before the elections. For every agricultural season. Okay, so every agricultural season they will give you certain amount of money. Whose money? Taxpayers' money only, right? But why did we elect this particular government? Because he promises that he will give them money. So people are happy to take their own money in a different format. Okay, that is an agreement. That is a social contract between whom? Citizen and the state. Okay, now what is happening is it is becoming too much. It is becoming excessive to the extent where the government has to increase their debt. That means government is borrowing money from outside to give money to me. Okay, as a layman, that means I'm not aware that government is doing all these things. All I'm bothered about is government is giving money, yes or no. So if you are not giving money, I will vote to the opposition party. Why? Opposition party will say, I will give you more money. So it's a race to the bottom. Okay, whichever political party gives more money, I will vote for that party. So these people have got used to this taking money as a concept. Okay, now earlier it was fine. Why? My income was high, my outcome was also moderate. 100 rupees came, I gave 95 rupees, I used to manage. Now 100 rupees is coming, I'm promising you 125 rupees, I'm borrowing more money. Okay, next year I have to borrow what? 140, 160, but income is not increasing in the same proportion, right? Probably it will go to 110 rupees if I really work hard. So my income is increasing only a little bit, but my expenditure is increasing every year. Why? Every section of the society is demanding more freebies. You are giving to that particular community. Why not us? Okay, you are giving only for health. Why not for education? You have given laptop. What about internet connection? Okay, why not 4G? Okay, now 5G is there. I need a 5G mobile. People demands will only increase. They won't come down. Okay, this has to be added. I mean, all this is luxury, right? Giving laptops, giving cycles, etc. is luxury. But there are some things like education, health, law and order. All these are basic. I have to maintain schools. I have to maintain hospitals. I have to maintain law and order, that is police officers. I have to give them salaries, pensions, maintain quality. Then the luxury. So my expenditure will increase or decrease? Increase. So politicians have figured out a formula. Throw money, stay in power. Okay. People are also, he's throwing money. Why change him? Nobody is asking the right questions. What about education, health, and law and order? Yes or no? Because of this, growth is not happening in the country. Okay. How is growth not happening because of this, sir? That means there is a simple concept. Without education and health, there is no such thing called as human capital. People are brains. Yes or no? People are brain, right? Human capital. That means you have to be healthy, you have to be educated. When your population is educated and healthy, that is called as a skilled population. In India, we don't have skilled population. We have population. Okay. When a population is just population, it is burden, not a dividend. That is the concept of demographic dividend. Okay. So we are making people lazy, useless, untrained, and they are also addicted to all these things. Okay, what happens if governments do not give freebies? People will be forced to work hard, develop skills, improve their income. Oh no, yes or no? Okay, people have to come out of poverty through efforts. State have to make that road very easy. Your job is to lay the road. Okay, your job is not to make them rich overnight. Okay, free money is a dangerous concept in any society. Okay, because of all these things, fiscal deficits are increasing beyond understanding. Fiscal deficit means my income is 100 rupees. My income is 100 rupees. My expenditure is 110 rupees. The gap is 10 rupees. This 10 rupees is called as fiscal deficit. Okay, I'm borrowing more money to serve you. Okay, the more money I serve, the more bankrupt I will go. Okay, I hope you understand. Lakhs and lakhs of rupees are pending by the state governments to various departments, to the society, right? Again, it's your money given to you. So now the debt is 160 rupees. My income is 100 rupees. What is the fiscal deficit? 60 rupees. Yes or no? Tomorrow government changed. Who has to pay the 60 rupees?
Taxpayers.
The new government, right? That new government will do what? It will burden you by distributing this 60 rupees to the entire population. It's your debt, right? You pay. So now the taxpayer has to pay more. Okay, or if it gets even worse like Sri Lanka, it will collapse. States will collapse. To avoid all these things, Prime Minister has brought in this discussion of freebies. That is for UPSC. Okay, but to target Arvind Kejriwal is a off the record discussion. Okay, now I hope you understood what is freebies. Freebies is giving things. Next, we'll talk about something called as what is subsidy. You are getting a gas cylinder. Okay, your domestic gas cylinder costs you around 1200 rupees. After that, 400 rupees or something will be deposited back in your bank account. That means technically how much? Only 800 rupees is your price. Who paid that 400 rupees? Technically, government have paid that 400 rupees. This 400 is subsidy. If you are from poor and marginal sections, 10 lakh car or 10,000 rupees car will be given to you for 4,000 rupees. Okay, who is paying the extra 6,000? Government. Okay, if you are a farmer, you can use up to 1,000 units of electricity. Okay, the bill is 0. Who paid this 1,000? Government. All these things are called as subsidy. Subsidies can be like up to 100% free. If it is completely free, we call it as freebie. Subsidy means only up to a certain level at a lower price. That entire subsidy is always a burden. Subsidy is burden on what? Whom? Government. Government here means it's either state or central governments. Subsidized electricity, subsidized cars, subsidized agricultural inputs, subsidized urea. Okay, everything is subsidy in India, right? From gas stove, gas cylinders, petrol. Yes, even petrol is subsidized sometimes, but not everyone. But it was passed. Now it has totally changed. Okay, so food is subsidized. Yes, Anna canteen, Amma canteen, all these things are also subsidized foods, right? So subsidy is not technically a freebie. Okay. Now, next. What about essential service like health and education? Government schools, government education is free, right? Education and health. That is also kind of subsidy. Government hospitals, okay, very cheap rates, generic medicines, and all these things are also technically subsidized. But we will focus our macro attention on these things. So when will state know what is a freebie, what is a useless activity, and what is a productive activity?
Income is you are investing anything on some thing means in long term or short term, there has to be something in return.
Mhm.
Expenditure, if expenditure on health education means in return we will get economic growth, means more GDP will be, more fellows will be
Mhm.
employed, more income will be increased for them.
Okay. So let's say I will ask you something. You're a district collector. Okay. 1,000 girls are under your schools. Okay. I have given you 1 lakh rupees. I have given you 1 lakh rupees for to provide midday meal scheme to all these 1,000 girls. Okay. After 1 year, malnourishment did not come down. Okay. Anemia. Okay. It did not come down. 990 girls did not improve in those two factors. Only 10 girls are better in health now. You understood the question, right? You have 1,000 girls in under you. For 1 year, you have provided midday meal scheme for all the girls. Okay. 990 girls did not improve in health parameters, whether it's anemia or malnourishment. Only 10 girls became healthy. Yes. So, is it a wastage of money or productivity? Wastage only. How many of you think it's wastage? 990 girls did not improve. You wasted all the money.
Proper implementation might be.
It's you, right? You implemented it. You cannot blame someone else. You will do right. Mm-hmm. Again, suffering at the starting moment, then it's a productive one. But some people were better. If some people were better at that moment, so we should focus. Again, it's my fault. Yeah, technically speaking, all the 1,000 were suffering from malnourishment or anemia. All 1,000 had a problem. 10 became healthy. 990 are still the same. So this is April 1st, right? This is April 1st, 2021. This is the data on April 1st, 2022. Academic financial year. On April 1st, I measured them. Is it success or failure?
4 lakh hasn't been used in an efficient way.
Okay. So even if it's 10 lakhs also, the result is same. Then? So you didn't use that money in efficient way. Tell what they know, not what is asked. So again, the basic tenet you have to understand here is it is always a subjective term. Okay. Why? Because the entire purpose of government is welfare. The entire purpose of private institution is profit. Both of them try to do one thing and one thing only, that is welfare maximization or profit maximization. The only purpose of government is to maximize welfare. The only purpose of private sector is to maximize profit. Okay. So if you bring your business knowledge into government, you will always call it as a failure. Okay. Even if I change this 10 to 1, that is a success in the eye of government or welfare orientation. Why? It doesn't matter how much money I have spent, at least one life is better now. Okay. So you don't know the impact of that one life. Okay. What if that one life become IAS officer? That one girl goes on to become IAS officer. She will help 1,000 others. We don't know the positive spillover effects of all those problems. Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you is, in welfare, you cannot define the value of a human life. You don't know the impact that one life can create. Yes. You cannot measure in the terms of money, effectiveness, or efficiency. It has to be understood in a whole broader concept. Okay. And if I don't provide that midday meal, 800 out of this 990 might go into stunting, wasting, or malnourishment, or they might become child laborers. Yeah? They might be married early. Child marriages might increase. Child labor might increase. Trafficking might increase. They might be pushed into social evils. We don't know how much or how well we have protected them unless we see the entire bigger picture of their entire life. Okay. So in governance, not only now in ethics case studies or any place, don't take judgments based on money. If this and 999 girls did not succeed, but one succeeded, then you can always argue that it is a step in the right direction. Something is better than nothing, right? So in governance, welfare maximization is the intention, not the money. Just imagine, you must have seen a news article, right? A small boy have fallen in a tube well. Then the government will spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees to dig him out. Why? Why can't just let him die? My purpose is welfare maximization. It's not about money. It's about saving that kid. Okay. He might go on to become terrorist. He might go on to become Abdul Kalam. I don't know. My job is to protect him, save him, right? So you understand the basic understanding. So welfare orientation should be the core crux. That is a very important thing. With that understanding in mind, now can you differentiate between a freebie and a subsidy? Now it becomes very, very difficult, right? Yes or no? How will you say which is freebie, which is not a freebie? Yes.
We cannot categorize them if they are working towards development or else towards making people.
Exactly, right? For example, imagine a farmer is getting 6,000 rupees from the state of Telangana. Okay, he have 4 acres. Overall 24,000, right? Okay, the 24,000 he might be investing in his children's education. He may not be investing in the farm. Okay, he might be investing it elsewhere. He might be drinking also. So you can counter argue. He might be wasting it on gambling. Okay, he might be using it on the daughter's welfare, or he might be actually investing in the farm field. Okay, we don't know. So India is a very poor country with a huge amount of fault lines and with lot of structural problems. Okay, and the average income of a farmer is very low. Okay, even according to government estimates, it's only 8,000 rupees per month. That's less than more PG in Hyderabad. Yes or no? So if someone is making per family, 4 members are making 8,000 rupees, it is less. Then how do you quantify which is deserving to him, which is not deserving to him? See, families which make like 1 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees, they are happy to take gas subsidy. Yes or no? They will cry only up to 12 cylinders. We get the subsidy after the 30th cylinder. We cannot get. Electricity slabs are very high. Yes, that family makes 3 to 10 lakh rupees per month. Okay. The train tickets are very costly, bus tickets are very costly. But the same family is very happy to pay a lot of money for a lot of things. But for a middle class family or for an actual poor family, okay, if you are giving some money, then you call it as freebie. Right? Freebie becomes a very subjective term. I'm not saying all freebies are worthy. Okay, but we don't know the spillover effects. There is a wonderful example in Africa. It is available in TED Talks also. A goat has been given to a family. Goat, G-O-A-T, goat. Okay, one single goat has been given, and that family came out of poverty because of that. Okay, the goat milk has been sold. They purchased a cycle. Okay, that too in second hand. Okay, and because of the cycle, his mobility increased. He was able to travel up to 3 miles in that area. He sold more milk. He purchased more goats, and that family slowly came out of the poverty. Okay, this is a very successful case study. Okay, and small things like giving washing machine to women. Okay, giving washing machine to a woman sounds like excellent freebie, right? People can argue it's a wastage of time, a wastage of money, right? There is washing machine where you cycle. A woman cycles and the clothes are washed. You must have seen, right? Okay, so why should we give washing machine to women?
She can use the time in somewhere.
Exactly, right? Time is money. A normal domestic household woman spends around 3 to 3.5 hours or around 20 to 25 hours per week on washing clothes and drying them. If we never measure, right? It's care economy, it's free. Mother is free, right? We never measure her time. But if you count every hour in like 3,000 rupees, she's spending around 60,000 rupees only to wash clothes. Okay, if there is a washing machine, her time spent on washing and drying the clothes will come down to, let's say, 10 hours. The extra 15 hours that she have, she can use it in skill development. Okay, she might learn some new skill. She will become financially empowered, or she might invest that in her own education and children's education, which will increase the learning outcomes. Most children in India are first generation learners. That means their mothers don't know ABCD. So there is no someone in home to teach them. You are from a privileged family, you are lucky to have a mother or father who are educated, literate. They will solve your doubts. But most children don't know. That is why they go to tuitions. Okay, so and ignorance, patriarchy, and all these things continue because women do not have time to update their skills. They don't even have time to focus on their own health. Okay, that skill can be used elsewhere. And then how will I count or measure all these things saying, this is freebie, right? So see, you can give TV to a woman, hypothetically speaking. That is a freebie. I may not totally encourage that. But again, it is a contract between the voter and the political party. So she might watch Kartika Deepam in that, or she might watch anything, right? She might watch something else in that. Who am I to decide? But again, that is a subjective argument. But other domestic household things like washing machine, sieving machine, um, bikes to girl child, electricity to the farmer. Okay, see, too much of anything is a bad thing. Mitam amrutam amitam visham, right? So anything in limit is a good thing. So give electricity to the farmer, but for 3 hours, but not 24/7, 365 days, right? So anything given in limit is not a bad thing. But that limit is something that is very difficult to understand in government. Why? More money I give, more over I get. Okay, the most idiotic freebie that I have heard in the recent times is in Andhra Pradesh, right? Okay, so again, not the government part. People were demanding that I failed 10th class, please pass me. Okay, have you seen that video?
Yes, sir.
Okay, people were demanding like, you need to pass me. COVID pass. Okay, first I didn't understand what is COVID pass. I thought it's like, mobility thing or something. Then they were like, you have to pass us. We failed. Okay, you have to pass. Last year you passed, my friends. Why not pass me? Okay, then even see, that is lunacy at one level, right? The bigger lunacy is the upcoming politician of that particular state. Okay, he came and said, if I become the chief minister, if I come into power, I will pass you. Okay, the education system is already failing, and here is an opposition leader who is coming and saying, if I become the leader, I will pass you. The bribe to the students. Okay, if that is the mentality of a student when he becomes a productive citizen to the state, okay, don't you think he will be totally relied on the state for money? Yes. So that is a problem of freebies. Okay, now this is freebie from bottom approach, like from the poor people's perspective. From the rich people's perspective, what is the freebie? Tax benefits. Mostly it's about tax exemptions, right? Tax benefits. If you are rich, you don't have to pay certain amount of tax, or corporate tax has been reduced. As I said, it's around 5 lakh crores to 6 lakh crores of subsidies given to rich people. Uber rich, not even rich, like that, super duper rich. Okay, so in today's Hindu also there is an article which says, if you have to give freebies, don't worry about giving more freebies, worry about making more revenues. See, we are worried about the spending side, right? Spending side is always a subjective argument. What about the income side, making money side? Why are states not focusing on industrialization, attracting service sectors? Okay, why not tax the super rich? Yes. So do you know that if you make 1 lakh rupees in India per month, you are in the top 3 richest people? If your family makes 1 lakh rupees per month, okay, if your family collectively makes 1 lakh rupees per month, your family is in the top 3% in India. Okay, if your family makes around 3 lakh rupees per month, you are in the top 1 percentile. Okay, you are the richest family. And if you make 25,000 rupees per month in India, you are better than 50% of the population. You make more money than 70 crore people. 25,000 rupees per month. A driver in Hyderabad probably makes more money than 70 crore people in his own country. That is the amount of inequality we see in the country. For me, it's easy to preach GAN sitting in an AC room. Why? If I make more than 1 lakh rupee, I actually belong to top 5% of the population. That means 95% of the population is suffering from lack of money. So from my perspective, I'm talking very, hello, why can't you work for yourself? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? But people are still suffering to make 2% of the sorry 3 time meal per day. So freebies are not a luxury. Freebies are a necessary to a huge amount of population. Okay, that is one perspective. And there is a wonderful quote called as lies, damn lies, and statistics. Lies, damn lies, and statistics. Lies, something is bigger than lies is damn lies. Even bigger than damn lies is statistics. Why statistics are the worst lies in the world? I can say 80% of the population is doing well in India, or I can say 20% of the population is poor. Okay, COVID statistics. Yes or no? They are like calendar numbers. What is today's date? 17. That means 19 people died today. Okay, that is how projections have been made, right? People never bothered about data. Okay, what am I trying to tell you? What I'm trying to tell you is, according to government official data, 21.9% of Indians are below poverty line. Okay, if 100 people are there in the country, around 22 people are not even having 3 times food. They are the poorest sections of the society. Okay, the rest must be good, right? The rest must be very well. That is an assumption. But in reality, 50 to 60% of the population is just hovering over the poverty line. That means they are just above the poverty line. Okay. See, if you make 1,000 rupees per month, or if you spend 1,000 rupees per month, you are above poverty line. Okay, just 1,000 rupees. What do you get in 1,000 rupees in today's world? Right? Second thing, let's imagine an auto driver. An auto driver has to drive every day. He has to make certain amount of money, 300, 500, whatever it is. Suddenly he developed a viral fever. For 10 days, he's not working. What happened to his entire family? He's pushed back into BPL. Then again he has to recover, come back and come above poverty. That means majority of the families in India are like swimming. They are one day above poverty line, next day below poverty line. These are called as external shocks. Okay, so technically, according to statistics, only 22% of the population is below poverty. But in reality, more than 60 to 70% of the population have always are vulnerable. That means they don't know when they will become poor. Yes or no? Tomorrow you got a health issue, pushed into health. One of your family member have a kidney issue. 1 lakh rupees has to be spent on recovery. 1 lakh for a normal family is huge amount of money, and that entire family is pushed back to poverty. Okay, they have to sell every saving, or they have to spend every saving, and they're in losses. COVID has made sure people have been pushed into poverty. Yes. Do you know one of the wonderful stats about COVID times? More gold has been mortgaged than ever. People have mortgaged their gold. See, that is why this Manappuram gold and all these institutes are very famous. Why? They give instant loans, and poor people don't have anything but gold. Got it? In such a country, talking about freebies is always a subjective term. Please understand what I'm trying to convey. It is very risky to say this is not a freebie, this is a freebie. Why? We can't even understand how poor people are. Yes, for them every single rupee counts. It makes sense. And yes, there are people who are totally used to this. They stopped working because some chief minister will announce some scheme, I will be happy. There are such a population like that also. But there are others like really poor people who need that money or growth. Okay, so what else? Thanks. Any doubts in the freebie part? What I'm trying to convey? Freebies are not a bad thing for a poor country like India. Okay, but they should not be done in excess. But above all, what is the right way to do things? No.
Transparency is who deserves it. We should take the accurate statistics about the individuals.
చలేస్తుందా? కొంచెం తగ్గించండి. Yeah. See, the best way for a country to progress is build capital. Okay, build capabilities. That is the only way for any country to get rid out of this subsidies or anything. Okay, we don't need subsidies. We don't need freebies. People are not beggars, right? People don't need begging. Okay, you don't go to the roads expecting government will give you some schemes, right? You will always aim for a better job. You try to upgrade your skill. A software engineer thinks about upgrading his skill, certification, etc. Why? He knows that he's not dependent on the state. He will make more money. Nobody is that foolish to get, government is giving me 15,000 rupees subsidies. Why will I need a 1 lakh job? Have you ever heard someone saying that? No, right? Everybody wants a stable income, stable job. Every family wants to aspire for a better life. Yes, that is the human dream, right? But we are not building capability. We are not spending money on promoting health, education, and skills. When you give humans a skill, health, and education, automatically they can take care of themselves, and they will even contribute to the economy. Yes or no? They contribute more to the economy. If a girl child is educated, she will become a productive part of the society. She will do a job, she will pay taxes, she is becoming a productive capital. But if you are keeping her unhealthy, if you are keeping her sick, why will she? I mean, you are restricting her, right? Him or her, anyone. So what most countries in the world have done first is build human capital. When you build human capital and provide employment opportunities, automatically this freebie culture will come down. Okay, everybody will start demanding for jobs. Everybody will start demanding for more employment opportunities. You will focus on the right problems. Right now you are not focusing on the right problems. You are focusing on just survival. Okay, and most of the freebies go into agriculture areas, right? 2 lakh crores or 3 lakh crores are spent on agriculture, narega, and all these things. Why? Because still 40 to 50% are dependent on agriculture. Okay, if you provide more industrialization, automatically these people will move towards industrialization. So it is our own created problem. So that is what Pratap Banu Mehta says. India is a land of jugaad, right? We always aim for short-term solutions rather than long-term solutions. Why do chief ministers announce new scheme every other day? Because you don't talk about unemployment. Because you don't talk about health. Yes or no? Even after COVID pandemic, many states did not wake up to understand that health is a failing in India. Yes or no? Literally, government hospitals have collapsed under COVID pressure. Government education is a joke. Okay, I don't know whether you know ASAR report or not. Have you ever heard about ASAR report? Outcomes based. Okay, I will ask you, as a normal citizen of this country, I want to test your awareness. If there are 100 students in a 5th class in government school, there are 100 students in which class? 5th class. If I give them a 3rd class textbook, how many people will be able to read? Everyone. Okay, so your number is 100%, right? Same, 100. Not sure. Not sure is not a number. Quantify.
40.
40 will not be able to read or will read. 60 cannot read. Okay. 3rd class students reading 5th class.
100% they can read. I saw the school which is efficient in reading. I saw the school in which 7th class student can't read even ABC.
100% will be able to read.
Talking about average 40% will be reading.
Okay, there is an annual survey of education report, ASAR report. It says around 40 to 45% of students in 5th class cannot read a 3rd class textbook. Okay, that is a problem, right? We live in Hyderabad or we come from decent families. We assume education is decent in the country. But in reality, it is very, very bad. Okay, around 50% of the 50% of the school children cannot read a third class textbook. Okay, they cannot solve a maths problem. They don't know the basics of division. That is called as outcome. That person will also pass 10th class. Don't worry. He will go on to clear 10th class. He will also become a graduate and he will become unproductive part of the society. And even better facts are 70 to 80% of engineering graduates coming out of engineering colleges are unemployable. They are useless scrap. Okay, that is not my report. Again, there is a government, not government, there is a private sector report which says 80% of engineering graduates coming out of engineering colleges are useless. They are unemployable. They don't have the requisite skills. So what do we do with all these people? The smart ones will get into the campus placement, or they will write government exams. The rest, they will also one day become software employees, right? How? Fake certificates, fake experience. 1 year in Ashok Nagar, Maitri Vanam, Java, C++. Okay, automatically they become employable. Yes or no? And that is the burden of the companies, not the state. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is we are not focusing on building the capabilities. Once you build health, education and health, automatically you will create productive society. Once you don't, the opposite is true in India case, right? We are not creating capacity. We are not focusing on health. We are not focusing on education. And we are feeding them using the name of freebies. Like the 10th pass batch. Okay. What will that student do in his life? Yes or no? Okay. That is the problem. Build capacity. This is also Amartya Sen's capability approach, but basically it's about creation of human capital. The entire story boils down to human capital. If you create human capital, you don't need freebies, you don't need education. Sorry, you don't need subsidies. Okay. Any confusions in this particular discussion? Understood? So what should we do? Should we give freebies or not? See, because we can't say, we have to eliminate everything, right? So what should we do? We should start working towards building human capabilities by eliminating the most obvious unnecessary freebies. Slowly, one after one, we have to remove. And one day we will have only the most essential freebies like health, education, or skill development, or women, children, etc. The others have to be eliminated. We have to move farmers away. If more farmers are automatically moved from agriculture to industry, I don't need to give electricity, right? Why? There are less farmers, and less farmers means more efficiency. Automatically, they will have better plans. So I'm building competition in all the levels. Right now, there is huge amount of disguised unemployment or useless things in agriculture. Okay, literally the entire ecosystem of Punjab destroyed. There is no underground water in Punjab because of free electricity subsidy. Who created that? Again, governments. Okay, so government is the biggest villain here, both state and central governments. They have to change first. They have to focus more on employment creation. If you create employment, automatically people will move away from subsidies. Okay, and last thing in this entire drama is beneficiary targeting. Okay, what do I mean by beneficiary targeting? Who is getting what should be digitized. Who is getting what should be digitized. That means you are a family who spends 10 lakh rupees per annum on something, but you will also get a white card, white ration card, or rice at 2 kg, 2 rupees per kg. How is that possible? Either your family is super rich or your family is super poor. You cannot have best of the both worlds. Okay, that means beneficiary targeting is not efficient in India. A farmer who have 100 acres, he will also get subsidy. A farmer who have 2 acres will also get subsidy. What kind of equity is that? Why will someone with 100 acres be poor person? If someone with 1 or 2 acres means he is not making good amount of money. You are giving 4 lakh rupees technically to a farmers with 100 acres. You are making rich even more richer. Yes or no? You are destroying the culture, not only agriculture. Yes. So what is the best way forward? We need to introduce something called as low entry barrier. Sorry, high entry barrier. Low exit. What do I mean by that? I will explain. Let's say your family will get electricity subsidy up to 400 units. You have to pay only 3 rupees per unit or something like that is there. Okay. That can be digitized, right? That means the moment your family starts spending more than 400 units, you will be charged like 5 rupees per unit for everything. Okay. That means who should get subsidy should be a very high thing. I mean, not everybody should be getting subsidy. To get subsidy, you should be actually poor. You should be deserving. You should have less amount of land. You should be actually poor. Okay. You need to cross so many checklists. Are you poor? Do you have only 1 acre? You don't have electricity. You don't have bike. You don't have AC. You don't have kids working in USA. Okay. Farmer is poor, but both the sons are working in USA. He's getting money, something. Bank transactions are more than 50 lakh rupees. You have to check all the checklist. More checklist means automatically in 1 or 2 you fail, you are not eligible. Okay. To give subsidy to someone, you need to check a lot of things. Okay. He's here now. He has crossed that. High entry barrier have been crossed. Now he's getting subsidy. But your only purpose should be kicking him out. Okay, he's already getting subsidy. After getting subsidy, he installed AC in his home. Kick him out. High entry, low exit. That means till yesterday you are poor. Somehow you became rich and installed AC in your home. You are no longer poor. If somebody can have AC in his home, how is he poor? So he should stop receiving subsidies from the very next day. So high entry barrier, low exit barrier. That is universal in all entire UPSC. You can use the same logic. Okay, to give something to someone, he should be deserving. But to stay there, he should also be deserving. It should not be like a lifetime, right? Your grandfather is poor, he got white ration card. From 10 next generation also is poor. It cannot happen, right? You drive in Ambani, you drive in a bench car, but you still go to DBT shop. That is wastage of taxpayers' money. He should not get tax. Okay. If your family makes more than 10 lakh rupees per annum, automatically your family should not be eligible for gas subsidy. Such high entry, low exit barriers should be there. This can happen only with the help of technology, right? Aadhaar card. Link Aadhaar card, biometrics, automatically use machine learning and artificial intelligence, kick everyone out of subsidies. Then you save a lot of money, but nobody will have that courage. Get it? Can we do that? Yes. Only BPL people should be eligible for most of the government subsidies. Everyone else should be kicked out. Vote bank politics. Vote bank politics. See, in villages, what happens is there are still people who get good amount of money. They have white ration cards. They get 2 rupees per kg rice, right? They will get that rice and they will sell it to this not poorer section, for industries, cottage industries, flour making and all those things, and they will make money. That means greed, what we call as kakurti, right? Okay, so it doesn't go away. So that has been deeply ingrained in the DNA, being cheap. Okay, so that has to go away. That has to be done through technology. EWS reservation, economic weaker section reservation, OBC reservation, they have this creamy layer concept, right? Many people who are not actually poor also get EWS and OBC. So that is also fraud on the system, right? So all these things have to be taken into consideration. It's not rocket science. If I know this, government also knows this, but unfortunately, votes, I have nothing to lose. Government has everything to lose. That is the difference. So we also will write recommendations. Got it? So why is Arvind Kejriwal saying I will give 1,000 rupees to all the women in Punjab? He wants to get into power. Yes or no? That's as simple as that. And society is not educated, right? Society is not educated. If you as an educated person are not aware of all these things, do you think normal people, normal society is even bothered about all these things? They are more worried about, which movie to watch in the next weekend. And I won't blame them. I'm not judging them. All I'm trying to say is they have their own problems. They watched Kartikeya, they wanted better movie, it's not available. What do they do? Which OT2 to watch? That is a luxury, right? If your problems are like which movie to watch next, you are in a very luxurious position. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, do you remember the separation of powers or you forgot? You remember separation of powers, right? Legislature, executive, judiciary. So here, judiciary have no purpose whatsoever. The moment judiciary enters into the debate of subsidies and all these things, it is not the problem of judiciary. Judiciary should not be involved. It is the burden of legislature or executive. When judiciary involves, it is kind of overreach. Why? Your job is what? Judging, right? Did they do something illegal? Did they cross a law? Did they violate constitution? No. Then you don't have a role. Okay. The shame should come to executive and legislature. Again, the MLAs, MPs, the government should get shame. If they are not getting shame, there is nothing anybody can do. People are happy taking money. Governments are happy giving money. This country has no future. Okay. Then that's country's problem. Yes or no? And see, tomorrow if Supreme Court introduces some scheme, if a government collapse, whom will they blame? They will blame Supreme Court. Because of Supreme Court, I lost. Earlier, they used to blame the opposition parties. Now they will blame Supreme Court. Again, Supreme Court's reputation will be damaged. Yes or no? The legitimacy or the trust on the Supreme Court will be eroded. So I don't know why system will do all these things. Okay. So this is also the same debate. This is also about freebies. If you have time today, in today's newspaper, it is there. Should there be a limit on freebies? Do you know who is Salman Rushdie? No. Some kind of other. Okay. So this is called as time travel. Okay. So you are living through the time travel moment. The screen will be reflected few minutes later. Okay. Now we have created an alternative dimension, right? Like so I'm moving fast. It is coming slow. So it went into a wormhole. Okay. Different dimension. So don't worry. Recently, there is an author called as Salman Rushdie. He's an Indian origin author. Okay, he is a winner of Booker Prize. Okay, he's a fantastic writer, and he wrote a novel called as Midnight Children. Okay, Midnight Children. He won Booker Prize for that. So he also wrote a book called as Satanic Verses. Okay, it's called as Satanic Verses. It is an interpretation of the origin of Islam, and he says that some of the verses in Quran have been given by devil itself. Okay, those are God's words, right? But he says some evil has also entered in those words. So he took the creative liberty to criticize a particular religion. Okay, then the extremists within that religion have given something called as fatwa. Okay, fatwa means it's like a religious doctrine. It's like a religious law that has been passed that person should be killed. Okay, Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran has issued this. So again, that is a different debate. The thing here is the concept called as blasphemy. Abrahamic religions. There are three Abrahamic religions, right? Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. Okay, what we call as Jews. Okay, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. All these three things are called as Abrahamic religions. Okay, they come from same area and they have more or less same concepts. And one of the most common concept is blasphemy. Okay, so what is blasphemy? Blasphemy means insult of God or criticism of God. Criticism of God is called as blasphemy. Okay, now the punishment to blasphemy is death. Okay, the Kanayalal murder case, the Kanayalal, the Jaipur tailor case, right? If you remember, a tailor in Jaipur have been beheaded. Why was he beheaded? It's like 6 degrees of separation again. Okay, have you ever heard about a concept called as 6 degrees of separation? 6 degrees of separation. Separation, all of you know, right? 6 degrees of separation means, let's say I want to meet Chief Minister KCR or Prime Minister Modi. How many people should I contact to get in touch with KCR? I can directly, if I know Harish Rao, the Minister Harish Rao, then it's 1 degree of separation, right? That means I am very close to KCR, technically speaking. Okay, if I have to go through meet 5 people, like my local ward councillor, MLA to minister to KCR, my degree of separation is 4 or 5. Okay, so the average is 6. Okay, it is a funny concept originated in Hollywood, but the concept is degrees of separation. Okay, so that means more degrees of separation means more gap between you and the power. Okay, so here Nupur Sharma, the BJP spokesperson, insulted Prophet Muhammad, and he protected this Kanayalal, this Taylor defended Nupur Sharma. So he did not even do blasphemy. He defended the blasphemer. Okay, that is why he was killed. Okay, so technically speaking, blasphemy is a very serious crime in Abrahamic religions. In Islam, it is called a Shariat law, right? The Islamic law, it does not entertain blasphemy. You should not criticize the God. Okay, but fortunately, the liberal mindset of India, that is the Sanatan Dharma, which we practice in Hinduism, do not have the concept of blasphemy. Okay, India do not have the concept of blasphemy. So that is antithesis to Indian thought. Okay, you are free to criticize anyone and discuss about it in a constructive way. Okay, you can question it. Even Buddhism says the same thing, right? Dalai Lama also says, if a religion do not stand the scrutiny of science, then the religion has to update. So Dalai Lama says this. But there are certain religions which are very rigid, or at least the interpretation is rigid. The religions may be very progressive, but the interpretation of the religion is rigid. So even in Hinduism also, there are certain people, right? You should not insult Shivaji, you should not insult this person, that person. I mean, extremes are always there in all religions. Okay, now they want blasphemy in Hinduism, but technically Hinduism is a very advanced religion. It is very liberal in thought. Okay, so why am I giving you all this thought process is because there is a contradiction between religion and freedom of speech and expression. Where do you draw a line that like this is freedom of speech and expression? Okay, if you see old Telugu movies, there will always be dialogue between Hanumanji and a hero. Yes or no? The gods will come to earth. We will discuss. Yes. So you have this Lakshmi Devi photo on the crackers, Lakshmi bomb. Okay, and then you explode her. Are you insulting her, or are you respecting her, or are you using her as a brand? So in Europe, some person put the photos of Indian gods on slippers or on foot mats. Okay, we were insulted by that, and Amazon also has withdrawn the selling of such products. Okay, but every other day in food packets or other packets, we have the photos of gods and goddesses. We throw it on the road, we throw them on the garbage. So are we applying our respect towards gods selectively? Only when others insult, we are happy to insult by our own. Right? Paradox, not hypocrisy, right? I'm living in a paradox. I'm happy to blow Lakshmi cracker, but I'm not happy to see her on roadside. Okay, So I'm entertaining both the ideas at one time. I'm living in paradoxes. Okay, and I'm not even noticing that I'm living in paradox. Har Ghar Tiranga. Okay, what happened to all the Tirangas now? Yes or no? You find so many Tirangas on roads nowadays. So am I respecting nation or am I insulting it? I may not be doing it wantedly, but it is happening by accident. Okay, paradox. All right. So coming back to the discussion, freedom of speech and expression is a very powerful thing, and we need to give lot of respect to freedom of speech and expression. So when do I start insulting your religion or your feelings? Some persons will have very high tolerance, right? Like I will say Rama, for example, for discussion sake, Lord Rama has left his wife in the forest. Okay, he's not a good husband. Then some person who read Valmiki Ramayana will come and defend, Rama is God, he knew what he was doing, he has taken care of her. Right? Some other extreme person will say, why are you even discussing Rama? Yes or no? So where do I draw that line? My freedom of speech and expression is to discuss anything, right? I need to know the truth. Only by discussion the truth will come out. And I did not insult him, right? I'm asking a doubt. As long as I ask a doubt, it should be entertained or encouraged. But now what is happening in the world is, the moment I even start raising questions, you should not. Okay, you are taking away the freedom of speech and expression. See, there is always insult, right? What we call as manobhavalu. In Telugu, manobhavalu. Na manobhavalu debbatinnayi. Eppudu debbatintayi? When do they get offended? If you go to a marriage, if the vada size is small, you are offended. Okay, if it is big, you are offended. You can, if you decide to be offended, you will be offended anyhow. If you decide to be offended by let's say Muslims or Christians or someone, you don't like someone, you decided to be offended. He's staring at me, I got offended. Okay, the MLA did not I saluted the IAS officer did not salute me. Okay, or the constable did not salute me. If you decide to be offended, you will always be offended, right? No matter what it is. Okay, so what is happening in the present day world is this. See, Salman Rushdie wrote this book in 1989 or 87. Around 34 years, 35 years ago, he wrote this book. In 2022, he's attacked. The religious fanaticism is increasing in the world, and thanks to technology, internet never forgets. Internet will always radicalize someone or the other person. So as a world, as a society, we should not be hypocrites. You have to defend Salman Rushdie in tooth and nail, letter and spirit. Everybody have the freedom of speech and expression. If you don't like something, don't read it. Okay, we are not living in a barbaric world of 2000, 5000 years old. We are living in a 21st century with global human rights. Everybody has the right to criticize in a constructive way. If you don't like something, if you believe Salman Rushdie is wrong, write a counter book. Write a book saying this is why Salman Rushdie is wrong and I did not like it. It is your way of dissenting it. You always have right to dissent. If you didn't like a movie, make a counter movie or write a review to the movie saying, this is bad. You don't demand the ban of the movie. Okay, these are all Supreme Court judgments again, right? D.Y. Chandrachud says, if you don't like something, don't read it. Why do you demand the ban of a book? As simple as that. Okay, so ultimately what is the lesson? Freedom of speech and expression is more important. That means fundamental rights are above anything else. If your feelings are offended, it's your problem. You can always counter using democratic means. What is democratic means? You can write a letter, make a YouTube video, share, tweet, Facebook, whatever the medium is, you convey in the same democratic language. You don't come and kill people. That is the most insulting way to the God, right? God created all human beings as equal. If you kill a fellow human being in the name of God, then you are not respecting the God. Okay, but all this is for good, for understanding sake. People cannot understand that thick skulls don't change. Okay, and apart from this, if the society is already communalized, these kind of things will only accelerate. Yes or no? It happened in America, it happened in New Zealand, it is happening in Sri Lanka, it is happening in Myanmar, India. The entire world is going through communalism, not only India, right? Everywhere communalism has increased. Okay, thanks to extremisms, extreme in all religions. They have extremes in Christianity, Buddhists. You know who killed Rohingyas in Myanmar? Buddhists. Buddhists are technically supposed to be most peaceful, right? Sri Lanka also Sinhali Buddhists, Rakhines in Myanmar. The Buddhists are killing others. So that means every religion is got communalized. So that is how you understand all these things. So again, every day you need to get insights, right? What is there in article is one thing. What is the understanding of that article is one more thing. I hope you understood. Yes. Any questions? No? Understood everything? Or everything is a bouncer? Understood everything? Pakka. If tomorrow I ask you, you'll explain to me what is blasphemy. Okay. See, the specialty of Rushdie is, I think in 2010 or 2012, they have a 25-year Booker Prize. So of all the Booker Prize winning books, which Booker Prize winning book is best? So again, Midnight's Children was decided as the best Booker Prize winning book. So you can understand his literary capacity, right? Okay. That is why Salman Rushdie is very famous. Apart from the fatwa. Okay. Yes. Misinterpretation of the religion is a problem. No religion preaches hate, right? Every religion says you should do good things, but it is my interpretation or my understanding of the religion that is bringing bad name to the entire religion. Any questions, anyone? See, you have to read these articles, then it's easy for me to discuss, right? At least today I'm explicitly saying again, read today's newspaper, that is 19th August newspaper. If you read today, 20th August, we will discuss what is there in the 19th August newspaper. You will also know what you missed. I will also tell you what exactly you missed. Okay, it will take less amount of time and it will help you revise. Oh, this was the depth that I'm supposed to go. Yeah, if you don't have any questions, I will end the session here. Yes, you can interact if you need anything UPSC. You can always let me know.
What can an individual do to counterreact to this, whatever happening on YouTube or media, triggering this communal rights? Right? What can an individual do?
The best thing that you can do is get more awareness, more education, counter with data, counter with better arguments. Okay, so if you just say no, we should be secular, you should not promote communalism, it is just like one more tweet, right? One more status. Your friend uploaded a status, you have uploaded a status, but you don't even understand the depth why you are uploading it, right? Then the more awareness you have, the more emotional intelligence you get, the more behavioral change you get. It is easy for you to influence the people. Yes. See, it's very difficult for a normal individual to fight the mass of WhatsApp university, right? So the amount of data you get in WhatsApp is unbelievable. Yes, but are you not being communal? You are contributing to the society. You being secular is a change in itself. Be the change you wish to see in the world, right? If you go on to convince people, you can never win the war. Why? You can never change people. Say, let's say your uncle or someone has uploaded a communal tweet. Okay, you went to argue with him. Okay, you will lose. Why? Oscar Wilde has a wonderful quote. Don't argue with stupid people because they will drag you to their level and beat you. Okay, so you cannot change people's mind with facts and data. The moment I say, India is secular because of this, okay, you will outrightly reject that idea. Okay, so have you heard about? I mean, this might sound like repetition of my old classes, but I will tell you two articles. One is There is a person called as Elizabeth Colbert. Okay, she wrote a wonderful article in New Yorker. Okay, why facts don't change people's mind. Why facts don't change people's mind. You can never convince someone with numbers. Human beings think in stories. He believes that a particular me, that story has been fed to him. You have to replace that story with a better story. You didn't understand it? I'm communal because I believed a story. Your job is to replace that story with a better story. If you give more data to that story, you are only filling data in that existing story, right? Your job is to replace that story. So when you become a better storyteller with awareness, with knowledge, with data, then you are replacing the story. As long as you are not a storyteller, you will try to fight with what is. You can never do that. So you cannot change people's mind with facts. You have to tell stories, better stories. Okay. And there is one more thing called as the Sapiens. By Yuval Noah Harari. Sapiens. It's a good book. It has some flaws, but 90% of the book is pretty enjoyable read. It's a good read. The more you read, the more you know. Sapiens. Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari is a wonderful read. There are some technical historical inaccuracies, one or two places. You can ignore them, but the rest of the book is wonderful. Okay. And then Why Facts Don't Change by Elizabeth Colbert. If you read those two things, then I think your perspectives will change. కాలేజీలో ఉన్నారు కదా, చదువుతున్నారు ఏమన్నా books? How many of you have the habit of reading books? You read books? Which one? Fiction, non-fiction? Turning Point. Only Abdul Kalam books? Oh, you have recently started. Only Abdul Kalam. Still only his books. Okay, nice.
Some story books.
Okay, fine. Yes.
I read
All kinds of books. Fiction, non-fiction. All.
Yes, sir. I don't have any particular category.
Genre, okay. So is your favorite author?
Think Like a Monk and Discover Your Destiny.
That, what is his name? Think Like a Jay Shesh. Sudha Murthy books. Only her? Recently started. Nice. Lakshmikant. Yes. No reading. You should read books. Suggest some books. Man's Search for Meaning. So that is Alchemist, Man's Search for Meaning, Sapiens. Sharma is not for me. Again, it is subjective. I started my journey with Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. So, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl is a wonderful addition to your thought process. Then, Alchemist is also good, but not everyone needs Alchemist. Sapiens is good for UPSC. 21 Lessons for 21st Century. That is again by Yuval Noah Harari. That is also a good book for UPSC. Autobiography of Gandhi is a good book for ethics paper. Even if you don't like him, you can read him because of ethics paper. Does the Elephant Dance is very good if your optional is PSIR. David Malone. Does the Elephant Dance is book by David Malone. He's a Canadian based Indian ambassador. So it's a wonderful book. But if your optional is PSIR, do read it. If it's not, you can still read it. It's a wonderful read. But it's outdated, kind of like 2004. Pax Indica by Shashi Tharoor. Again, purely PSIR, that is manipulation, right? I'm not diverse. I'm not improving your thought process.
The life and trial of
Bhagat Singh.
It's only single perspectives.
Read Man's Search for Meaning. Read fiction and non-fiction, right? Both will have impact on your mind. Your mental maturity comes from reading every kind of book, not one kind of book. So again, it is up to you to pick up which kind of books are good for you. But if your optional is PSIR, definitely Does the Elephant Dance is a good read. Normally, Sapiens is a good read overall. My Experiments with Truth by Gandhi is good overall. Man's Search for Meaning is better for your soul. It's for human beings, right? All human beings should read it at least once. Then depends on your taste, right? Like if you like environment, there is one kind of book. If you like politics, there is different kind of book. If you like biographies, there is different kind of book. Think Like a Monk is also a nice book. So I have read too much self-help, so probably haven't touched it. It might be good because it's a bestseller, right?
Yeah.
I gifted it to my sister, so I don't know. I haven't taken the feedback, but people told me it's good. But again, self-help is a different genre. We don't know when we need self-help. Books that make you better human being is more interesting, right?
Atomic Habits.
James Clear, Mother Teresa. Actually, Atomic Habits is a very good book for a UPSC aspirant. It will instill that discipline in you. Atomic Habits by James Clear. It is one of the most highly recommended books, Atomic Habits. Novels. How do and చిన్నగా ఉండాలా లావుగా ఉండాలా Indian based abroad. So if you like Mahabharata, then I have a different suggestion. If you like Krishna, there is a different suggestion. It depends, right?
So have you heard of Palace of Illusions?
Chitrangada. Yes, I have started that book. I didn't like it after a point, but I understood her point of view. There is a even similar book, Parva. S.L. Bhairappa Parva. It's a wonderful book. It's also on Mahabharata. Then is Yajnaseni. Same. It's on Draupadi. Okay. Iravate Karve, Maharashtra. So it's a good book.
Started with
Which one? Palace of Illusions. So nice. So again, I cannot decide for you, right? Like you will like it probably. If you are purely reading for UPSC, read good books like Does the Elephant Dance, Pax Indica, Kel Katam. If we like no further discussion. But if you want to develop it as a serious hobby, then again you have to explore on your own, right? It will be good. Start with small books, it will be good. If you're interested in Indian mythology, then things will change. So on and so forth. Or if you want simple books, Times of India, Speaking Tree, one page, one story, small books, that will be fine. Okay. For now, reading means Lakshmikant. Lakshmikant is the best suggested book. No, read NCERTs, read Lakshmikant. Yeah. Okay then. See you all tomorrow.